It is St. Patrick's Day, and I decided that instead of making kind of a video that a lot of people make, they'll make a food video, corned beef hash, or what have you, corned beef cabbage, which I am going to do. Well, I'm not going to make a video, but I'm going to eat that. I decided I would go ahead and share one of my hobbies with you. It's kind of a new hobby. It's something that I am just now getting serious about getting into. That is going to be LARP. I'm going to finally be able to travel this summer, I hope, if not this year, next year. And that gives me plenty of time to put together a kit. So some of you know I have in the past done quite a bit of cosplay, quite a bit of costume stuff. I'm getting a little bit bored with conventions. It's all kind of out of my age range now. So I'm going to start focusing on maybe trying to get some gear together for a LARP. That means that you all get to come on an adventure with me as I learn how to do this. So the first video I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be turning this old flashlight right here into something that you would be proud to drink out of in a post-apocalyptic world in the Wasteland for St. Patrick's Day. I would like to say that this video is not my original idea, and it's not the original idea of the person that inspired me to do this either. That's a channel called LARP Mix. I've been watching his videos a lot, and I just watched a video of his where he turned an old flashlight into a drinking vessel. So as he says in his video, this is plastic. This is something you're going to want to make sure is even safe to drink out of, but even if you don't drink directly out of the flashlight, you can drink from a can. You use it sort of as a can cozy, a sleeve to put the can in. Whatever, what have you. I'm going to drink directly out of it. I honestly don't give a shit. LARP Mix is rather, he seems rather cautious, and I think that's just a quirk of his personality. I'm not. Most likely this plastic is the same kind of plastic that you're going to get in your water bottles. It's a thermoplastic. It's not marked with any kind of a number, but I think it's safe to say that it's probably fine. What may not be fine is the battery that is inside of it. I know in this case, this flashlight's battery has not leaked. It's still in really good condition. It's just dead. I've already opened it up. As you can see, I haven't closed it all the way because I'm not ready to put it back together, but yeah, I know I kind of started on this and then I got inspired. So whenever you're looking for these old batteries, yard sales, thrift shops, what have you, you're going to want to make sure that the batteries inside have not leaked and put poisonous chemicals on your plastic, and if it has, then you're going to have to neutralize that somehow. You're going to probably not want to drink directly from that one. It's been contaminated. Like I said, this one is not, but batteries, they have corrosive chemicals in them, and they can be dangerous. If you're going to be drinking out of it, then you need to be aware that you could poison yourself. So I'm going to say I don't recommend drinking directly from your flashlight. I'm going to, but that's just me, and I don't really care. So let's get to taking it apart. Now I have already done this. I started this actually before I was inspired to actually make a video about it, because I watched his video and I was like, holy crap, I have this flashlight I could do this too. So I got this old flashlight from my uncle. He used to do some, a wrecking. So when a car would be wrecked in an accident or what have you, or blew up on the side of the road, maybe not explosion blew up, but like the engine blew up. The engine failed. Usually a head gasket issue. He would take those cars and he would scrap them out. He would take them to the junkyard and, they would get all of the recyclables off the car and crush them and, sell them for scrap, So in these cars, he would find all kinds of stuff that the people didn't want or didn't pull out of there, because I know from experience when your car is in some way damaged and it has to be wrecked out or totaled out, mind the dog, they take it to the scrapyard and you're able to actually go and get your possessions out of it. So he would find, things like flashlights. I have an MP3 player. I would love to give it back to the person it belongs to, but there's no name inside of it. He just kind of gives stuff to me because it's just junk that he found, and he would put it in a thrift shop or whatever. He lives down in Kentucky, so they have that kind of thing down there a little more often in Missouri. I've rambled enough. Let's get started. Let's take it apart. I have already done the harder parts, and I've actually already washed this. The components of your flashlight are usually going to be the inside of it, and in this case it has a 6-volt battery that's very dead. Here's my battery. As you can see, it's in completely perfect condition. It has not leaked at all. There's no corrosion. It's kind of dirty, but that's it. And then, the inside of that, like I said, I've washed it. It's got some stains, I'm not worried about that. And then you're going to have your light mechanism. So in this case, it just lifts right off. There's your reflector. This light bulb actually is still intact. You never know in the Wasteland when you need yourself a good working light bulb. So he's going to be put aside, kept nice and safe. And then, you just have this thingy right here. That's going to be taken out. I'm not going to be using this reflector, but again, I'm going to save that. You can have a little party with that, look at that shiny. It's going to be your Wasteland disco ball. Now I am going to go ahead and take out this battery terminal. This is just one of the connectors that connects with these terminals here for your battery. The battery touches this plate, throws the current up through these connectors into this, and that's how you turn your flashlight on and off. So I did have to break a little line here, but it wasn't that hard. All I did was I just stuck my thumb in, or both of my thumbs in, and gave that some pressure, and then it snapped. And you can see where the plastic sort of, that little weld broke. So that comes right out, and now you've got essentially an empty container. This one does have a little adjuster. It makes a lot of noise. It's actually really hard. So I'm going to put that back in. You wouldn't want to be moving that around if you're trying to be stealthy. So it does leave a little hole here in the side. I'm not sure how to seal that up. I'm not sure if I give a crap, because the only amount of liquid that I'm going to be able to hold is going to be in this battery compartment. I'm not going to be able to fill it up all the way no matter what. So I'm going to use that as a little holder for my thumb. So I can get a hold of it, pick it up like this, be kind of fancy, stick that finger up, it's got that pinky, and drink from my flashlight. There's one extra little surprise that I love about this one. Not all flashlights have it. This one in particular, this is a Garrity, whatever flashlight, just a normal thing. It was made in China, of course. See, made in China, and that's the model of the flashlight if you want to know that one. But there's one little extra thing I found out actually when I was washing it. This thing unscrews, and inside is a little filler piece of plastic. So this being a post-apocalyptic scenario, guess what I'm going to turn this into? You're going to have to wait and see. Next step, now that I've got it good, I have got it washed already, I already did that, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start weathering this thing. I'm going to make it look like it came from a dump. I'm going to make it look as rough as I can without actually damaging it. So what I've got is just some normal acrylic paint. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I have not ever weathered anything like this. Silly. It's mine. I've never... Hazel. This is all new for me. I'm going to do the best I can, and we'll see how it turns out. Now the good thing about acrylic paint, if your dog will let you do it, is you can wash it off. So if I screw up too badly, I'll just wash it off. Can I have my hand back now? Please? I don't have any paintbrushes on me, so what I'm going to do is just use my fingers. I'm going to screw around with it. It already has a little bit of stuff on it from just being worn out, just being used. It looks really dirty already, even though I've washed it. But so we're going to concentrate on all of these wear areas. It kind of already has given me a hint to where it wants to wear, where it wants to stain. And so it means any spot that is likely to come in contact with the environment around it, with these paints. So that's going to be, you're going to lay it down, which means you're going to get some scuffing. I might even do that actually. Get some scuffing on the edges here, on the edges here, maybe on the edge of that. Just kind of, so see that's scuffed up the edges. I don't have any sandpaper, but this seems to be working just fine. So now I'm going to take some brown paint. We're going to simulate some dirt, some more dirt than you maybe would want on your actual drinking vessel. I just got some dirt on my hands. I'm going to kind of just touch it. This is old paint. It's not really worth using on anything. So I'm going to use it on this. See, it kind of has that dirt color. But just get your fingers in there, touch it, wrap your fingers around. I'd put it on my whole hand, maybe. That might be a good idea. I'm going to do that with just the brown. And then I'm going to do it with a little bit lighter brown. I don't care about the paints mixing. This is different colors of dirt. And that's all I'm going to do. If you think it needs a little bit bigger smudge, you can do that. We don't know where this has been. It could have been rolling around in a river for all we know. It could have been in a paint shop, an old burned down paint shop, hit by the bomb, hit by the EMP, whatever happened to create this wasteland we live in now. Maybe you got a little safety yellow in there. Maybe this was in fact in a place where there was some yellow safety paint. Get some on the bottom too. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I'm just gonna make it work. I think it looks a little bit too intentional, but that's gonna also wear out. It's gonna wear down. And I'm gonna scrape it again. So I don't really care. I don't need it to look realistic. I just need it to look neat. If I wanted it to look realistic, I would actually take it and go run around with it in the dirt. So there's my base to this. And then from there I can go and I can rub some of it off if it looks too intentional, which I think it does, but let's get some black on there. Whoa, that's pretty gross. Only just a little bit of black. I'm gonna give it some, maybe oil. Throw some oil on there. You're not gonna see it too much on that handle, but let's give it some oil down in these cracks, yeah. You can rub this off later if we want it. Whoops, I'm not even in frame. Let's pull this out. Oh, loud noise. Don't neglect what's under here. Now the best way to learn how to weather things is to actually look at something that's been weathered. And I had another flashlight that my uncle gave me that he didn't want. My other uncle, a different one. God, I'm not even on frame. I'm bad at this, guys. I'm sorry. But I lost it sometime between now and, or between getting it and then like putting the camera up. Oh yeah, that's starting to look pretty cool. This sure would be a lot easier if I actually had some paintbrushes or something. Here we are. This is where this paint job looks terrible, I know. We're at our final step. We're gonna pull out our filler rod. This is in here essentially to keep this from collapsing if it were to get dropped. It's just a filler rod. We're gonna do something with it. I could not find red paint. So, in honor of it being St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to make it green. Can you guess what I'm gonna do with it? What about if I show you this? Next step, now that my green is dry, my darker green, let's put these to the side. Have you guessed what I'm making yet? Got some super glue. I have no idea actually if the super glue is going to stick to this. Oops, you gotta make sure you're pressing it in the right spot. I'm gonna hold that there while it cures. It doesn't seem to want to stick to this. So it looks like super glue is not compatible with this plastic. It is compatible with my fingers, however. So next step, means I'm gonna have to go inside. You're not gonna see this part. There we go, glued on. I had to hot glue it inside. I'm sorry I couldn't show you that. And it's starting to flake off a little bit. This is just acrylic paint. Think I care? Nope. Not gonna look perfect. Doesn't need to look perfect. It's looking a little plain. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make sure that when I pull this out, anybody who sees me pull this out is gonna know exactly what it is. Here's the thing, when somebody pulls out a stick of dynamite, they expect it to be red. They never expect it to be green. So we're gonna scratch. Take advantage of some of this. Let me do it with my left hand here. T. N. T. Here we go. It's on one side. Let's do it to the other side. Why not? Sure helps to be ambidextrous, you know? So T. in. T. Oh yeah. So we're just gonna slide our stick of dynamite right down in there. Put our cap on. And finally, the true test. I wonder if it'll hold the whole thing. Guess we're gonna find out. Whoa! Got a little head. Sure enough, you're gonna hold a full can of beer. This one's a 12-ounce beer. Oh, that smells good. One last thing to make this complete. Remember that? Remember that? That? Let's stick her back together. After all, you don't want anybody knowing that you've got a beer. You want to make sure to protect your drink from the dust, too. And then anybody who sees that is just going to think, oh, that's just a flashlight. They're never going to know you got a drink in there. Here we are. I got it. Got the beer. St. Patrick's Day. Living it up in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. Works pretty good. Make sure you hit that like if you liked it. Hit that subscribe if you really liked it. Check out my crap down in the description. Hit me up on Discord. Here are my patrons.